first-round Canadian. Coach Marr said to us this week that Silas is in the conversation. Connor Fields, the Thompson brothers, Joe Rosseteres, he's that good. Let's see if he can put it on display today.
Some high praise as we are underway in Ithaca, and it's the top seed, Cornell Big Red, that start with the ball in the home white.
And scoop to the top corner.
Well, to hear his head coach, Scott Marr, who's in his 25th season, scramble in front of the cage. Well done by Brady Smith. And Marr told us, I've been exactly where Connor Busic's been, where I've got the nation's best player, a really talented team, and the stress of waiting until the final game of the first round. It is a 2025 Tewaaraton finalist, and it's not official. He's one of 5 finalists, but he's going to be the winner.
He's going to be the winner. It's resounding. I don't know if it's ever been a situation where we knew this early on that the Tewaaraton winner was going to be who it is. And it's just a credit to CJ Kirst.
And this is the top seed in Cornell Big Red we've been used to seeing, Michael Long. This offense is poetry in motion. 14 seconds in between those 2 Cornell goals.
And it just felt like it was only a matter of time before this happened. Albany needed to jump on it when they had the chance, and now potentially it's too late because Cornell is feeling it. Michael Long, that's his 2nd goal of the game. He's at 29 goals for the season. He is dialed in with the rest of the Cornell offense.
Yeah, that's what's so incredible about this Cornell team. You see the CJ Kirst numbers, and as we were just saying, the heavy favorite to win the Player of the Year award, which is called the Tewaaraton in lacrosse. It's not just a one-man show, though. You got Raider, then well said, wearing that on the back of his hat tonight. And you see the reaction he gets from his teammates, Jules. He is beloved, he is respected, and because he embodies that motto, the players, his teammates around him really rally around Kirst and his ability to take this team to a new level.
He's always been a special human being, but in terms of him as a player, I grew up in New Jersey. I was very fortunate enough to play with the Kirst brothers going up, and I spoke to Cole, former teammate of mine for the Redwoods. We talked about CJ Kirst in 2nd grade playing up at the Watchung.
Long clamp between Cascadden and Mareno. Ball still loose. Finally, Cornell has it. Brendan Staub, the junior from Garden City, New York, not giving up on that ground ball off the faceoff. For as well as Albany has played in this first half, it has been a valiant effort. If you give a player like CJ Kirst an opportunity, he's had room twice and he's buried both. And Albany, the immediate answer to make it a 1-goal game. Jackson Palin, the sophomore midfielder for the Great Danes. If the last name sounds familiar for PLL fans, he is the son of lead official Matt Palin.
Matt Palin, an absolute legend.
13th hat trick of the season for CJ Kirst. The heavy, heavy favorite to win the Tewaaraton Award, which goes to the nation's best player. A special season continuing here in Ithaca for that young man, CJ Kirst. The freshman goalie playing in his first ever NCAA tournament game, holding the nation's #1 scoring offense to just 5 goals in the first half. That is the lowest amount of goals Cornell has scored in a half this season. Now, how do you sustain it? That goal, CJ Kirst has tied Ron Pennell for 102 points in a single season in a Cornell uniform. That is rarefied air. And if you were with us at halftime, tears in both of our eyes, and I'm sure many others watching at home. The incredible story about CJ Kirst and his family. So well done by
that low angle opportunity, and that led to the big time shot on the backside for Cornell to convert. That is an unselfish offense that has led Cornell to be the #1 offense in the country.
And for the first time tonight, Cornell starting to separate the Big Red on a 3-0 scoring run since the 1:25 mark of the second quarter.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. Notre Dame, Ohio State. For Ohio State to get that matchup in the first round, the Big Ten champs, that's a really tough draw for the Buckeyes.
And obviously the committee does factor geography in. Do you feel like we need to get past that, where it's that glaring, and you go
sense?
And you talk to head coach Connor Busick, and he runs out of superlatives to describe his senior, C.J. Kirst. Now, they came into it together. First year, Connor Busick was a head coach. 2022, Kirst a freshman. They make the national championship game, and Busick, reflecting on that, goes, "We were kind of driving blind." 17 minutes, 21 seconds between Great Dane's goals. It allowed Cornell to separate. Big Red lead is down to 5. A comfortable cushion, 7.
Tremendous season thus far for the Cornell Big Red, and the word that just comes to mind for me, suffocating, Jay. Whenever they get the ball, it just feels like something's gonna happen. They play make it, take it, and now their defense is playing at championship level. He's got 44 points on the season at midfield, unanimous, or not unanimous, but first team, all Ivy League. I expect his numbers to double next season at attack.
Wow, okay. Well, Jeff Teat, only the greatest player on the planet right now, so glad we're going with realistic comps here.
Trust, Hill Academy, Canadians, they play at a different level.
What I will say is Connor Busick talks a lot about his philosophies and his principle level with the youngest CJ. 6 goals tonight. He's already the nation's leading scorer in the history of Division I lacrosse. To go offhand like that, Jules, is ridiculous.
Jay, not only to go offhand, but that's just not something he had in his bag, and now that is an elite shot for him.
Or do you think New Jersey?
Man, I don't know.
He's winning it.
I don't know if there's ever been more of a lock than C.J. Kirst for the Tourton Award.
A remarkable career, a special season. And they are under 10 minutes away from advancing to the quarterfinals. Richmond will be a difficult...
Coach Marr said has the potential to be a Lyle Thompson, Connor Fields level player for U Albany.
Almost quick work there, ringing it off the pipe.
And people give him credit for.
And Michael Long, 2 goals and now 4 assists. Just another day at the office for him. It took Cornell a little while to get going offensively, but they have been very good in this second half, Jules.
You mentioned Michael Long, 2 and cross, and that's exactly why the Cornell Big Red have 14 goals scored with 7 minutes left.
And remember, they had a season low, only 5 goals in the first half. Well, you said it, would Cornell be followed at 2:30 by Syracuse and Princeton? What a matchup that is going to be. And then Sunday, also on ESPNU, Penn State, Notre Dame at noon, and Maryland, Georgetown at 2:30.
Playing midfield. First team all Ivy League. That is very, very difficult to do. Not to mention, he isn't this dynamic dodging threat. He just does a lot of small things very, very well and makes his impact felt all over the offense.
Final.